My guest seated, you're right, we're talking Operation Vanguard. Abraham Amalibara is a private legal practitioner, also a member of the NDC, and Kamaldeen Abdullah is the NPP Nasara coordinator, who is now gunning for the National Youth Organizer of the party. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
I hope all is well.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Just that we are suffering. Cost of living is high.
Is it?
And whilst I agree with Ndum, whilst the Ghanaian is suffering, you had them going to, on Saturday or Friday, marking history papers, you know, when the Ghanaian, you have been voted in to deal with the challenges of the Ghanaian. So yes.
History is important, isn't it?
Oh, no. We are not saying that history is not important, but when you devote all your time talking about the past, when currently there are challenges and you are not dealing with them, then I agree with Indum when he says that the Ghanaian is suffering, and what the leaders of this country can do is either to travel to India and visit the cast of Kunkumbaja, or they will be in Ghana and marking scripts. Anyway.
Are you not changing the script yourself?
Which one?
Because you're sounding like Samira Baumia went to India just to visit the Kunkumbaja cast, but we know that she went there for a certain
you use
purpose.
taxpayers' money, you find yourself in India. What you can do is to waste time to go and visit a cast of Kunkumbaja. Couldn't you have used that?
But what's
time?
wrong with that?
So many things are wrong with that. This visit is not beneficial to the people of this country.
Okay, that's your opinion.
I think that she should have used that time in a productive way and not to go and visit the cast of Kunkumbaja.
What I want to ask you is not to comment on what he said, but to because you're a member of the Hajj board.
No,
pilgrims are going to Hajj on Wednesday.
But it's important I get the Ghanaian populace who are watching at this morning understand that indeed this economy is on track. Understand that indeed Amalba, who is telling us that today things are hard and that there's so much hardship out there, knows for a fact that we inherited an inflationary rate of 18%. Today, as we speak, ask Amalba, where is inflation now pegged? Now, if he tells you where inflation is pegged, ask him whether it is factually placed for him to say that there's hardship out there. Because indeed, as we speak, inflation has nosedived to 12% as now, and that is a fact.
Are you disputing the fact that
wait a minute.
He is personally having challenges with the economy?
No, you see, I'm saying that the gentleman sits here and tells the whole wide world that, look, there's so much hardship. The same gentleman bequeathed to us an inflationary rate of 18%, and within 7 months, we are able to bring it down to 12%. What it means is that indeed, prices of goods and services have actually come down.
Have they?
Now, today, as we speak today, go and look at the interest rate at the banks. What it means is that indeed, from the 25%, we brought it to somewhere 21%. And as we speak today, the businessman who had no confidence to walk to the bank to get some loans, to be able to soar up his business or her business, has the confidence now today.
Okay, on this particular issue, we will not agree, so let's move on.
Now let's move on.
Let's talk about Hajj Wednesday.
He says
please don't comment.
Can
you not comment on that?
Because
this is not part of the conversation that we're having this morning. This was just his intro.
Time is wasted.
That was his good morning.
Kofi Dubai, once upon a time, there was a Kofi Dubai in this country. He was not on official visit, so he gets up, go to Dubai and enjoy. A whole president. And he was given a name, Kofi Dubai.
Who is Kofi Dubai?
Oh, you don't know. He knows him. And then if you come and sit here, you're talking about somebody.
But if I don't know who Kofi Dubai, you're referring to Kofi Dubai.
Kofi Dubai
is who?
I'm saying he was a whole president of the Republic of Ghana.
Yeah, but he has a name.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama
was known as
Kofi
Dubai.
Dubai. Of course, why? He was called Kofi Dubai.
Okay, let's talk about Hajj.
Now, let's talk about Hajj. Very important and very, significant to us.
It's on Wednesday.
I think, inshallah, on the 10th of this month, we're going to have the first flight of this year's would-be pilgrims leaving from Ghana to Saudi Arabia. Of course, let me give commendation to the NDC government as well for making sure that they revisited the idea of getting pilgrims to fly from Tamale direct to Saudi Arabia. I mean, nonetheless, I'm saying...
No, wait. Why are you saying revisit when they actually started this?
Well, of course, it wasn't the first time, as they wanted us to believe. The truth is that they twisted the facts, and they are aware that it wasn't the first time that we had pilgrims moving from Tamale to Medina. That was, in fact, the second time. So if
the first time was when?
If they are blaming
the first time was when?
If they are alleging that someone is rewriting history, they rewrote history before someone attempts rewriting history.
Can we not talk without, you know, saying this person didn't do this or did this, and we're doing this or we're not doing that? Can we not just...
When you say someone is rewriting history, when in fact that person, the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, Right Honourable Speaker Aaron McOkwe,
I thought we're talking Hajj.
Was speaking the truth. No, I'm only referring to him when he told the whole world here that it was the first time we got a plane moving from Tamale to Saudi Arabia. And I wanted to refer to him that, look, in 1974, it happened.
Okay, so how many people are going on this particular program?
Now we had a quota of 6,200 from given to us by Saudi Arabia. As a member of the board, I'm so elated, so happy. The amount of work that has gone into it so far. We've actually had our father, Sheikh Isikwe, doing a yeoman's job. I would have to commend him and thank him for the leadership that he has given us.
So we will not hear stories of people sleeping
of course,
at the airports, people not joining and things like that?
You can never have 100% as a human being and or as a group. It is only God who secures 100% in whatever he does. But I can tell you that when you visit the Hard Village today, look at where the Hard Village is put now and positioned now and compare it and contrast.
Can we not compare?
No, it's important.
Can we just talk about what we're doing this year?
Hard Village then, Hard Village now. It's important for us to
So how many trips are we going this year?
We are looking at 6 flights from Tamale, and we are looking at close to 7 flights also from Accra.
How much is it costing us?
Of course, the package is $3,450. Now, we pegged it at 15,000 because of course, obviously,
15,000
Ghana cedis. Looking at the forex market, which has a lot of, you know, role to play in determining the package and all that. As we speak today, like I said, 6,200 pilgrims are likely to
But how much is it costing
move.
the state?
Costing the state. Hajj is a private affair.
People. So we're not. The state is not contributing anything to this. We're not contributing anything to management, hosting.
The state only facilitates. Okay, because obviously you should be concerned as a state when your citizens are supposed to move from one country from your country to another country.
Does it cost us when we facilitate?
Obviously, it will have cost us some little money.
How much is that?
And it has always been so. I am unable to tell you how much the government of the day has spent on it, but I can assure you that it's not much. We have been very, very prudent in making sure that this year's Hajj is excellent. And we have also tried as much as possible to make it appear a private affair more than making it a government affair.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about the issues that we've tabled for conversation.
Very well.
This is because you're a member of the board, so we needed to talk about this.
Fundamentally, what I'm trying to say is that this year's Hajj, inshallah, it's not by our might. It's going to be as smooth as whatever you think is the smoothest.
We will be watching.
I know.
I'm sure Mr.
It's going to be as smooth as
Mr. Malban and his team also be
it's
watching.
obvious. We are working so hard.
Let's talk about Operation Vanguard. Why you want to comment?
Let me just add, Mama, last year, people paid, over 411 people paid and couldn't go. This year, we, being magnanimous as we are, we have absorbed those 411, and they're all going to embark on Hajj, even though we didn't organize it. This is what we've done. It's significant.
Are they having to pay again?
Oh, they were only asked to pay some 2,000 Ghana cedis in addition. 2,000 Ghana cedis just because of the variation.
So the way you put it, it means that we will not have leftovers.
Oh, obviously, we have worked hard to make sure that the quota 6,200 also have inclusive the 411 that.
So you know we have the unscripted where we catch your voice when you say something and we keep playing it. We're going to put that side by side. So when this is over,
I have been on your shows for God knows how many times, and I've never been quoted wrongly.
Mr. Malaba, I'll just give you a minute to comment on this.
Mama V, you know that Hajj is an issue of national interest. It has always been the case that spillovers are taken care of for the next year. So it's nothing new.
No.
Will you be patient and learn from me and behave decorously? It has always been the case that spillovers are taken care of the following year, and they are given the first option. So it is nothing new. Indeed, you see, we didn't have the idea of a Hajj village until the NDC came. Muslims brothers
can we not do
Muslim
this?
brothers
can we not do this?
Muslim brothers.
Truthfully,
Muslim brothers were made to
Mr.
sleep.
Malba, can you restrict yourself to just commenting on this year's
Muslim
Hajj,
brothers
so
were made
we
to
don't do the
sleep
back and forth?
Aviation Social Center in Accra, there, around the airport area. They will sleep there like refugees. There's no place of convenience. They were left to their fate. It was the NDC that came and introduced the Hajj village. And so the point is that we have moved on. We expect that you build on what has been given as a foundation. And so when you come to sit and make the point as if nothing has happened in the past and that it is during this time that things are happening, I shudder to think that this is an anti-development person. I think that what we can be doing is to add on. That's why I agree with you. Let's speak of what is happening now. And what is happening now is what you, as a member of the committee, should tell the people of this country. But when you go back, I'll also tell you how rough, Muslims were living when they came to Accra, all the way from the north, and they were living as usual.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abraham Amalba. Kamal Dean, we're not going back on this subject. Okay, we're talking Operation Vanguard. And I know you can make examples and bring this one in, but no, we're not. So just a bit of what is new with Operation Vanguard. The Anti-Illegal Mining Task Force, commissioned last week on Sunday evening, clashed with illegal miners in the Ashanti region, leaving one illegal miner dead. PRO of the Operation Vanguard, Major Gariba Pabi, said around 1700 GMT personnel from the Ashanti region on patrol met stone pelting illegal miners at Wawase, a community in Obuasi, notorious for galamsey. He said as the task force moved on, the illegal miners they fired a gun at the patrol, and in a bid to protect themselves, the team fired back to disperse the agitated miners. After the illegal miners had escaped, the task force found that one of the illegal miners had been shot. That's according to Major Pabi, who speaks for Operation Vanguard. We commissioned them. We asked them to go and fight illegal galamsey. Here we are with this latest report. What does it mean to the fights?
Well, I must say that we are sad about the development, and I'm particularly sad about it. A single life lost to this country is huge, and it means a reduction in our manpower. Clearly, one cannot be happy to hear that, look, or wake up in the morning and hear that a young man was actually shot dead as a result of some little disturbances involving some, execution of a particular job or task that the President of the Republic of Ghana has given to a particular group of people. Nonetheless, these are, very unfortunate spectacles that we have had or we have as a people to speak to. You see, are we committed, fundamental question, are we committed holistically as a people to fighting this menace called galamsey? If we are, yes, it means that the President of the Republic of Ghana choice of putting together a task force to fight and make sure that this menace called galamsey, which is actually destroying our water bodies, which is rendering us helpless in terms of getting potable water to drink, is fought, is supported by all. You see, my point here is that not my good self, not Honorable Amalba, not you, in fact, not the one watching us, is happy to see this galamsey going on. More so when we have had cause to come out with documentaries, to come out with problems that are associated with, that has actually is associated with all these galamsey matters and all that. I think it's about time we looked at it from that angle. But nonetheless, it is also important we implement this with some human face. It's so important. I wasn't there, you were not there. We're speaking to the report that we've had, that yes, The task force were on their, normal or usual patrols, stone pelting, if you like, galamseyers or alleged galamseyers, came up, started pelting stones at them and all that. Well, how do we disperse the crowd? Professionally, maybe they went through it, and an unfortunate incident happened.
But this is how we will be receiving the reports.
This is what we have to speak to. This is what you have. That
because this
what
is
I
the
have.
accounts as given
Absolutely.
by the spokesperson
Very
of
well,
the operations.
very well. So, like I just said, it's sad for us to have that. But the bottom line is that there's no single person in this country now who is not against the fight or who is not in support of the fight against Galamsey. I'll be surprised. There's nobody. Because I know...
Certainly not those who are involved in it.
Of course. And that is why we want to stop them. That is why it's a fight. Of course, if reason is to assume its position, all of us agree that there shouldn't be Galamsey. That is what reason is, because of the problems that we get out of that. The chiefs have spoken, people have spoken, journalists have spoken, the media is at war against Galamsey, politicians are at war, unless maybe Amalba is going to tell me that he's for Galamsey. But I'm very sure he's also against Galamsey. So we are all on the same page, except to say that, look, let's admonish these task force members, the body that has been tasked to do this. First of all, favoritism should not be part of this exercise. Okay? Trying to do cherry picking as to who to fight and who not to fight should not be part of this. If you have a task to clamp down on Galamsey, make sure the task is executed and executed well and fairly.
All right.
I think that I'll also call on authorities to investigate circumstances that has led to the death of this young man. We shouldn't just leave it like that and say we are going to fight Galamsey. That's why I said that if a single life is lost, the manpower of this country suffers.
Sure.
Let us investigate it.
Right.
Like you said, we are just hearing Honorable Pabi speaking to the PRO. We've not, Garba Pabi, right? We just heard what he said. We don't really have the other side of the story. So that's why I think that investigation ought to be launched into this matter so we can get to the bottom of it and move on.
All right.
But I also appeal to the young men, while I appeal to government. It is important we find a way of creating jobs for the youth. We have no excuse at all. I've said this over and over again. Government of the day, respectfully, we campaigned on making sure that jobs were created for the youth. The youth who are out there embarking on Galamsey and have nothing, let us put measures in place.
Why are you telling us? That's your party that's in government.
Of course. Why? Government is for all. It's not just for my party alone. Why? Are you telling me that Amamba will not sit and say the president of the republic is not allowed?
It's easy to communicate with the government than for
I will do indoor and I'll do outdoor as well.
Okay. All right.
I want people watching us to know that indeed, even indoor we talk about it. And we have actually put in a lot of measures in place to make sure that these jobs are created.
Okay.
But we should continue to do further.
Okay.
If we do not, and then allow these young men to, as it were, remain idle or sit down unemployed, of course you get them on board.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Amalba, this is what we wanted Operation Vanguard to do, fight Galamsey head on, and this is what they're doing. Do we have issues with it?
Are you shocked that we've lost a life? I'm not shocked. Because when this task force was put together, the Galamseyers also came out, I'm sure you might have heard it, that they were going to meet them fire for fire. They said it. So I'm not surprised. But why is the fight against Galamsey so difficult? It's difficult because once upon a time, there was a presidential candidate who went to the same Obuasi, and this presidential candidate is called Nana Akufo-Addo, who is now the president, went to Obuasi and promised the Galamseyers that he was not going to come and collapse their business.
Are you saying this for a fact?
You can Google. If you can't do it here, ask your...
If I Google, what would I find?
You will find the president, then the candidate, saying that he will not collapse their businesses and that he does not even refer to Galamsey as illegal mining.
Oh, really?
And that he would come and ended up by saying that when he comes, he will regularize their existence.
this was when exactly?
I'm saying that it was during the campaign period. Let your producer Google, and then we come back.
We're going to verify
that.
But I don't know this for sure.
Now, if you promise people in that way and they vote for you, and you kept hearing the Galamsey saying that we voted for you because you told us that you were going to come and make our business thrive. If you then become president and then you turn your guns against them, it amounts to breach of trust on your part.
Are you saying that the president, then candidate, endorsed illegal mining?
I'm surprised you are even asking these questions. I thought you were part of the news system, and then that you were aware of some of these things.
So he endorsed Galamsey.
He endorsed Galamsey.
That I am not aware of.
He endorsed Galamsey and said that when he comes, we're going to regularize their activities. He even said that he did not refuse to do. So the fight against Galamsey, which is now becoming difficult, is partly due to the promise that the president made.
So wait,
I'm saying that
Mr. Malba, beyond Google, beyond what you're saying that we should Google, we will find. Do you have proof of this?
The proof of it is what I heard, and it is supported by what is in the when you Google.
So where did you hear it from?
I heard it from the news. There are a plethora of stations. Now I can't pinpoint which particular station because you flip channels.
We're going to verify this.
Verify
okay, please move on.
And so when we are talking about why it is challenging, the Galamseyers are also saying that it's a breach of trust on the part of the president to now turn his guns against them. But as he rightly indicated, this is a fight that we are all out for it. Because even for the Galamseyers, it is not good for their own welfare. Because when the waters in this country get polluted, where are they themselves, after they've taken their gold money, where are they going to be getting water to drink? They themselves. So it is not even good for themselves. But this is not to say that the fight against Galamsey is not good or that it is not in the right direction. It is, because we want to, as it were, claim our environment. But the larger picture for me, I've always said, is that these people have been doing these Galamsey activities and indeed feeding entire families. Now, if you just want to take them off completely from it, they find that there's going to be a void. And they begin to think, how am I going to get the next meal? Because they've been doing this for years and feeding their families. Some have done all these things to, as it were, educate their children. Some are still educating. So when you take that livelihood from them, they see it as a livelihood, even though it's an illegal act. When you take it away from them, it appears you have pulled the carpet under their feet. And so how do they live? That's why I'm saying that when you look at our mining laws, you have the large scale and you have the small scale. Can we create a medium scale where we can train these Galamseyers? The problem we have with Galamsey, you see, Galamsey is not different from mining. Mining in itself destroys the environment. Like farming. Farming, you must destroy the environment. But the impact of mining to the environment is different from farming. Farming, you must tend the environment, cut down trees. Mining, you must do so before you get the gold. So, be it large scale, small scale, you must destroy the environment. So that's the basic principle of mining. What the Galamseyers, they do not have environmental impact assessment done. They do not reclaim the environment. But for the large scale and the small scale, they will reclaim and move along. But these people, because they are engaged in illegality, they don't even have time to even reclaim. So why can't we create a second tier, which is a medium scale, and train them, give them the necessary tools, train them, so that they can also be able to reclaim the environment. When we do that, for me, they can continue to be in their business, make it legal, and we can also be able to ensure that our environment is safe. But until now, you are going to have these sporadic clashes between the Galamseyers and the tax force, because it's about livelihood.
How many more? I wonder how many more we would have killed.
We would have killed
before the end of
because it's about livelihood.
I'll give you a minute,
It's about,
and then I'll give you a minute as well. And then we're done.
It's about livelihood.
Okay.
if you see that,
just let him land.
if you see that your livelihood is being taken away from you, no matter who you are, you rise up to protect it.
Okay, all
and
right.
so because of our livelihood, and that it touches on several people in the family, you see some resistance. But let's see how we can streamline the activities and ensure that they reclaim the environment.
Okay, all right.
Well, Mama V, the tail end of my brother's submission, Amalbe's submission, corroborates my point earlier on. Except to say that what he prefixed his submission with was quite unfortunate. To have said that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo did say that he was going to ensure that Galamsey will what? Strive under his watch. It's rather unfortunate and it's not true. And I'm happy that he answered himself when he said that Nana Addo said he would make sure their activities which are illegal or their activities which are quite illicit would actually be regularized. And when we say you are regularizing, I'm happy he's a lawyer who is speaking. He's just prefers solutions to this particular regularization that we're talking about. If you are professing medium-scale mining, and that we have large-scale mining, and that we have, if you like, small-scale mining and all that, and you are professing antidote to what we have today, it means that you have just come, if indeed what he said or what he claimed Nana Addo said is true, then it means that Nana Addo did nothing wrong. By saying that, let's look at it again. Let's regularize what you are doing and make sure we bring the best practice into mining in this country. And that's exactly where we are today. You are against illegality. I'm against illegality.
Okay.
Everybody's against illegality.
All right.
And you have just said that the man who you claim said XYZ said, when I come, let us try to regulate the sector and make sure we bring sanity to it.
Okay.
So where's the wrong?
All right, but answer my question. How many more do you suspect we would have killed?
I said that.
This?
But I said in the beginning that I'm the saddest person this morning.
Because one person has been
of
shot.
course, and I'm saying that, of course, I would not be happy as a citizen of this country to have lives lost further.
But with the stance that some of the illegal miners are taking, we would have a lot of deaths.
No, if you look at it, of course, I think that is it. Professionally, I believe this body is going to execute or implement this fight against Galamsey solidly, professionally. Now, if they're going to do it professionally, I don't foresee many lives lost here.
Okay.
Unless we just want to, as it were, try to taint the entire activity with some, crook way of going to do things.
Okay.
Just go out there and kill people. That's not what we want to do.
All right, thank you.
I don't see.
Mr. Malba, just answer my question, and then we'll link this up with the president's visit.
Now,
how many more lives do you suspect we would have, lost in this process?
If I answer your question, it will mean I am a sadist who is interested in people dying. And I'm not also, I can't
but
play
this is
God.
in view. This is in view of the stance that some of the illegal miners have taken.
I can't play God to know who will die next. So it's a question I can't answer on this platform. But you see, I have Googled. He says that he will regularize Galamsey.
Which website is this?
This is GhanaCelebrities.com. A year ago, here's it.
Okay, but hang on. I will not allow you to quote this website. We've got to verify this before we go ahead and read this.
It's my phone.
No.
It's
not your phone.
It's my phone.
Mr. Malba, it's not your phone, but it's the website.
Mr. Malba, it's my phone now.
Mr. Malba,
an outlawed phone.
Mr. Malba,
it's my phone now. A disease.
Mr. Malba, with all due respect, this is something that we'll verify, but we can't say.
They are on several websites.
So we're gonna cross check. We're gonna cross check. Because I allowed you to speak.
If you say regular, if you say regular,
can we box this up with
if you talk about regularize, it's what they are doing regularization.
Can we?
It's what they are doing. Regularization.
Aren't you aware of the steps
Is that regularization?
Okay, your point is well made.
Is that regularization?
Your point is well made.
You send soldiers to attack and kill people. That is regularization.
Is that how you're referring to
Is that regularization?
operation?
You know what it means?
Yes.
They've been sent to go and kill people.
Yes. Is that regularization?
The first time military men
is that regularization? Let's hold the president accountable. The way you held Mahama accountable. I don't know why when they are holding Nana Akufo-Addo accountable, people become jittery. Let's hold every president, whether he's 70 years, he's 50 years. Once you are president, we'll hold you accountable. What did he say? Even though he plagiarized people's speeches, didn't he say that we should behave like citizens?
So you're saying,
I am saying that
you're saying that
he's contributed to what is happening.
Mr. Maba, I want to get this. I want to get this clear. I want to get this very clearly. Are you saying that this team has been commissioned to go and kill people?
I am saying that the team has gone. Death has resulted. Is that regularization? The team, the task force, has gone to the field. Is that Nana Akufo-Addo's regularization?
If I were a viewer this morning,
is that Nana Akufo-Addo's regularization?
I'll be very much.
Nana Akufo-Addo promised to regularize
and supported the idea.
Is that regularization?
The next moment he says that why should men be attacked to go out there to fight Galamsey?
How significant? I want to move forward. I want to move forward with this conversation. Please, I want to move forward with this conversation. How significant, I want to move forward. I don't want to get into this debate. How significant is the visit of the president to Dencho Boase today? How significant is that coming on the back of the death of the late Major Maxwell Mahama?
Well, a father for all. Unfortunate incidents happen. There's a saying in our local parlance that should your child be drowned, you don't say you won't drink water anymore. You would agree with me that even the prosecution that is ongoing in court, okay, of those who perpetrated that act, the heinous crime in Dencho Boase, not all of them, okay, are held by the courts as we speak. Some were free. You agree with me? You also agree with me that there are citizens of this country, in fact, very important citizens of this country living in Dencho Boase who did not partake in that unfortunate incident. Now today, to ask a question as to whether it's significant for the president to visit Dencho Boase, I ask a similar question. Is Dencho Boase part of Western region or not?
Central.
And is the Central region or not? And he's passing through. As part of Ghana or not?
My question was how significant?
And I'm asking also, it's a rhetorical question. I don't expect you to answer. I'm asking whether Dencho Boase, when you take the geographical location of Ghana, is part of Ghana or not? And is the president a president of the Republic of Ghana or not? Is he embarking on a working tour or not?
Okay.
So what stops him from visiting or passing through Dencho Boase?
Okay, this was supposed to be real quick. This is real quick because we have another issue to tackle before we wrap up.
So I think it's on a working tour and he has to move on. No, we can't just say that, look, let's demonize or try to bastardize the entire population of the Dencho Boase. Of course, what happened was unfortunate, and we have gotten some prosecution going on, and we are on course. We think that justice is going actually to be served, and the right thing will be done. But nonetheless, work still goes on.
Mr. Maba, about 1 minute. How significant is the president's visit?
It is significant because it will give me an opportunity to see firsthand of the insecurity that Ghanaians have been talking about in this ever since he took over. The insecurity that this country is under, to the extent that you have the United Nations calling on our president for the first time to take steps to deal with it. Dencho Boase marks a Waterloo in terms of the security that we have in this country. And so it will afford you an opportunity to see how his government has been unable to deal with insecurity, which has led to the death of a major,
for God's sake,
an army officer.
How do you make such
the army officer, a fine army officer who died because you notice that ever since he took over the rest of this country, insecurity, the last one was in Tema. Your station, Joy News, had opportunity to talk about it, where their invisible forces took over Mike and threatened ministers and policemen who were on the days.
So I watched that. They didn't threaten them. They had their say. It was an open forum.
Oh.
And so they also wanted to hear their voices.
What did they mean by what happened in Kumasi? You know what happened in Kumasi? A court was attacked. A regional security coordinator was manhandled. So what happened in Kumasi will be even nothing to write home about. They will visit more mayhem here. And you say it's not a threat?
You said they threatened ministers.
I said they threatened the whole, ministers were sitting there, they threatened the people of this country. What do you know happened in Kumasi about invisible forces? Is that something palatable you would like? Do you want our courts to be taxed here?
Let's talk about.
So you have a first hand to have a feel of it.
Let's.
When he comes, I'll come.
Thank you, gentlemen.
When he comes, I'll come.
Saying what you and I
when he comes, I'll come.
Insecurity in Dental Boise.
Let's talk about this toll tax. Thank you, gentlemen, for this conversation on Galamsey. But let's change gear because prominent civil society organizations and workers' unions have joined forces to protest the passing of a law to compel vehicle owners to pay a mandatory toll levy and to push for the repeal of the law. We know the back and forth of this. So let me just mention the names of the groups. The Coalition Against Mandatory Road Towing Levy is made up of the National Union of Petroleum Tanker Drivers, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, Ghana Commuter Drivers Association, General Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union, Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Movement for Social Justice, and the Progressive People's Party. What do you think about how far we've come with this levy? Also mindful of the fact that the Ministry of Roads and Transport issued a release last Friday, which I'm going to read to you, and then we can continue. The Ministry of Transport is following with keen interest the several discussions on the subject of the implementation of the road safety towing services. The ministry wishes to make the following clarifications. 1, no decision has been taken yet on the commencement of the towing services. 2, the ministry is engaged in consultations with various stakeholders, including the Parliamentary Select Committee on Roads and Transport, whose recommendations have just been received by the ministry. And 3, the views of all stakeholders will be considered for an informed decision to be made on the matter. And finally, thereafter, the ministry's decision will be communicated to the general public. We're hopeful that we can count on the utmost cooperation of the general public. This was issued by the Minister for Transport, 4th August 2017.
So what's the brouhaha about us?
There's a...
What's the noise about it?
Oh.
I mean, what you've just read settles the matter.
So this coalition...
I said what you've just read settles the matter. Of course, I think that this country, we develop on taxes. We develop on levies. Nonetheless, we must have reasonable levies accepted by all. The fact that we should just go out there and pay levies does not mean they just go out and pay any levy at all. We've had cause to talk against certain levies when we're in opposition. Equally, should we have cause to talk about levies when we are in government? Both minority and majority agrees that indeed there's carnage on our roads. Agrees that accidents are caused sometimes mainly by abandoned vehicles, or if you like, lorries or whatever on our main roads, which we have so narrow. This is a fundamental agreement we all have. Now, if rudimentarily we all agree that this is the cause, it's a problem, it's a canker. Now, measures put in place to curb this or to nip this in the bud is to get a towing company, or to put in place a towing company that actually will be charging us. Then we levy the citizens of this country and ensure that indeed the work is, something like that is kept or a nip in the bud. If this towing levy that has come about, what I have as a problem is the implementation of it. But I've just said that both minority and majority don't seem to be against the action taken to solve this problem on our roads. However, the weight that the levy is going to exert on us, and if you like, seeming hardship that may be created for drivers, for car owners, for road users and all that, is what the problem is. What did we do in terms of the fee? What have we done in terms of monopoly? In terms of which company is handling it? How many companies are they? How sure are we that effectiveness is going to be seen in terms of implementing such a particular measure by getting rules that vehicles that are small on the road towed away and all that. These are questions that we need to ask. I'm happy that the Minister of Transport has come out to say clearly that, look, we haven't even agreed on when this should take off. I'm aware Parliament has passed a bill like that. As to whether or not by Article 106 of our Constitution, which demands the accenting of this particular act by the President, as to whether or not the President has accented to it is another matter. Because Parliament don't pass and they just start working. Obviously, we must get the
I think because of the way this particular law is, you wouldn't have to go through all the other processes. This is a baby law.
It's a baby law.
Yes.
Excellent. So if Parliament has passed it and it's not supposed to get to that stage, or it's not kind of an act properly speaking, but it is a law that has come out. My only point here is let us look at the implementation process solidly so that it will be accepted by all. And when it's accepted by all, of course, we will be good to go. But where we are going to have lots of people coming out to say, look, this is a matter that we should look at it again. Please, with all respect, take care of the fee. Take care of how to go about it. There are many school of thought who have come out to say that, look, why not? Why not allow the vehicle owner who has his vehicle parked on the roadside or spoiled on the roadside, told by this company, go and pay the fee to the company. There are school of thoughts who have advocated for that. There are those who also say that, look, when it happens and the person doesn't have the money, he says, oh, it is my right to go and engage a company. If it's not, if I don't engage a company, let it be there still, and there's a problem. But we think it can be mandatory. Let that company go and tow it. Get there, pay before you get your vehicle. You're a businessman. You get it? There are school of thoughts that have actually.
So we should consider all these sides.
But I think the implementation is where the problem is, but not actually whether or not vehicles left on the road are a problem or not a problem. That one we've all agreed that they are a problem. But let me just end by saying this, that this particular law that the NDC have come out today through their national organizer to say that, look, we are being insensitive to the plight of people. We are being this. You trace it to them. Trace this particular levy to the NDC.
Really? I have a different view to this. And if I'm permitted to share, because if you look at the committee where this went to, that's the subsidiary legislation, and at all times the chairman of that committee is always from the minority.
And I'm saying,
so we the people, if you decide to come up with that argument, we will turn it against you.
Well,
I think it's both.
I just told you that clearly.
I get it, but I mean it's not me and
the timing has to do with NDC. Where we are today and the passing of it has to do with NDC, and they agree.
Nonetheless, Mr. Malba, I want you to have your say on this, and then we will wrap up. The conversation, this is not the beginning of it. I mean, we started this conversation. There was a halt, if you like, and then we're back again. Because the Transport Committee in Parliament made certain recommendations, and that's what got all of us talking again about this.
We are actually not talking about this letter you read. We are actually talking about parliamentary approval or subcommittee approval of Parliament.
Oh, that's depending on where you want to take the analysis from. It's your choice.
I am reacting to his initial comment that this settles the matter. This cannot settle the matter.
So can you not react to his initial comment? Can you answer? Can you talk to me?
What I'm saying is that what brought about all this brouhaha was not a letter from the ministry. What brought about all this brouhaha was Parliament committees approval on this levy.
But I think the question I asked, to be fair, was the fact that there are groups coming up and forming a coalition against it.
So I'm saying that the groups are against what Parliament did. That's my point. Now, when he tried to play politics and you tutored him, you saw that he lost his voice. When he was so vociferous, that is the NDC. And you
but we're all sharing ideas. We're talking about an issue.
And you tutored him and told him that the committee that sat on it is headed by
the minority.
Obiamo at the time, who is a member of their party. He lost his voice. That's the way you should be doing.
But that's also not to say that there were no members from the majority and minority on that committee. It's not a one-man committee.
Which minority has it now?
So what I'm saying is that he didn't need to play politics because it is a joint effort by the House. both majority and minority. In any case, we did certain things under our regime, and when you came, you cancel all those things.
Should they cancel this one too?
You cancel all those things.
Should they cancel this?
Let me come. Let me come. We did a Mary. I didn't know calling back a Mary.
Should they cancel this?
You can't fast track my submission.
I'm working with time.
We employ people at national service. When they came, didn't they remove them?
Further and better particulars.
Now, this levy, it goes against their own campaign promise that they were not going to burden the Ghanaian with taxes. Today, they are on the verge of passing or implementing the law. It goes against their own principle of not burdening the Ghanaian with taxes. So, I think that the Ghanaian knows who is doing 419 to them. But the idea that we need to remove vehicles that are broken on the way to ensure that we do not cause accidents is good.
Should we cancel this law?
We can tweak the law. Cancellation is different from tweaking the law.
What else would you add to the recommendation
What
that
I
was recently?
want, and I've made this point on several platforms, I'm going to repeat it, that it is not fair to have a blanket levy for motorists, because there are motorcycle riders who, when their motor breaks down, where the part of Ghana I come from, they will push it by themselves to the next vulcanizer.
Okay.
So you exempt people who will not benefit from the levies that you are imposing on them. Exempt them first. Then also, what you can do is to ensure, be patient. Be patient.
No, you're London because we're
learn
done.
to be patient.
We're London.
When you are talking and I don't
Mr.
talk,
Malabar,
it's
you're
not because
eating into your
God
own time.
did not create me to know how to talk. It's
Mr.
because
Malabar.
I know that this.
Mr. Malabar, you're using your own seconds.
So now, the next point is that the towing is good. Why can't we ensure that these towing cars will go round to remove those vehicles and surcharge the people?
Okay.
That for me will be the.
So surcharge you as they move your vehicle.
As they move your
Okay.
vehicle,
All
surcharge
right.
you.
So you're speaking the same language. That's where we are. Thank you, gentlemen. We have to wrap up.
Simply, should we cancel the law? The man cannot give
He
you
said
an
we should
answer.
tweak
He doesn't even know.
it. He said we should tweak it.
You don't,
Thank
he has
you,
never heard the word
man
tweak.
cannot give an
He has
answer.
never heard the word
next
tweak.
moment, wait a minute.
He has never heard the word
The
tweak.
next moment, tweak
Thank
the
you,
law.
gentlemen.
He has never heard the word tweak.
You see,
This is the first time I'm hearing the word
and
tweak.
then
Thank you,
again,
gentlemen.
The man
This is
goes
the
ahead
first
to
time
say,
I'm teaching
the
him the
man
word
goes
tweak.
Kamal
ahead.
Dean
So he goes ahead to answer the
Abdullahi
question.
and Mr. Abraham Amalba.
I've taught him a new word, tweak.
Michaela Nye, this is
I'm
your
sure he
segment.
will use it in their,
I think you
in their NDC
shouldn't
NPP
pair them
meeting.
again. Stay with us. We're talking prostate cancer, and Seth Kwame Boateng has a documentary. So maybe just to break it, prostate cancer. Have you checked your status?
Yes,
You've
I've
checked
my status.
Yeah, this year.
I think yes, I did that.
Okay.
I've checked mine.
Okay.
I don't have a liver problem. I don't have all those things.
Yeah.
When you go, they will test you on all those things.
Okay. Thank God.
So I don't have
All
it.
right.
I've done that.
Oh, that's
Except to say that
refreshing.
I don't contradict myself even on my health issues. I just go straight and see it as it is. Just like whether tricking.
Hey,
And the new
yeah,
word, I've told you,
Thank you,
he's going to
gentlemen.
use it.
Stay with us.